to start off by saying, Ma che siamo tutti butti! All right, you might hear that again once or twice this month. So we're from the Gloucester Writers Center. We put together a program of stories with a Fiesta theme, as you probably know. We met a bunch of great folks. I got a couple of quick announcements before we get into the stories. Henry Farini has been the director of the Gloucester Writers Center for 16 years. He started that with Annie Thomas and Andre Spears 16 years ago. They went for 7 years each, and Henry kept us afloat for the next 9 years. He's done a terrific job, and we'll be moving on to take a retirement, and he will be working on his film projects and hopefully get some leisure time. And Henry, from Gloucester, Cape Ann, and all the writers who have enjoyed the hard work you've done over the years, thank you so much. So the board president, Joanne Hart, and I will try to pick up the ball and keep doing the great stuff that he was doing. So a quick run of show tonight. What's going to happen is we're going to have 4 stories are going to be told. These stories are modeled on the Moth template of storytelling. It's a challenging set of rules, but these guys have risen to the challenge. They're going to tell a story live, no notes, with a time limit, and it will have happened to them. The story must be about them. And these people are all Ground Zero Fiesta folks, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So we're going to have 4 storytellers. Then we're going to have some music by the ultra-fabulous duo of Rhiannon Hurst and Adria Smith. Then we'll have an intermission. And then we're going to have more music by those folks. And then we're going to have the rest of the stories, and then we're going to call it a night. Now, the musicians have an album coming out next summer, and they are really, really good, as you will find out shortly. And hopefully they'll tell you more about that album when they get up. All right. Oh, I am Kevin Perrin. Stop it. I'm Kevin Perrin, and I'm lucky enough to be involved with the Gloucester Writers Center, which brings free and low-cost events to the community. So again, your support being here keeps us in business. Thank you one more time. All right. So we're going to get on with the show. Our first person up to tell a story is Mike DiLiberti. Now, jeez. They didn't clap that loud for me.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Okay, so Mike has been the announcer at the competitive events on Pavilion Beach. Nobody is more Ground Zero Fiesta than that. Mike DiLiberti.
15 years.
Take it away.
It's Fiesta Sunday. It's early in the 3rd round of the Greasy Pole contest. I spy the pole. I see a lot of the greasers now gone. Now I look, who's the next walker? It's Matza. Now I don't usually do this, but I tell everybody the flag is going down. So now I'm watching Matza intently, rocking back and forth, looking at it. People, the key here is he needs a good, quick start, and he needs to be balanced coming out of the gate. He's off. He's down. He's off. Halfway through the pole, he's there. And then Matza, he slides to the pole at the end and he grabs the flag. He stands there. He looks at the people at the beach. And what we have now is the most iconic picture in the history of the Greasy Pole. Well, how did it all begin for me? Well, about 5 or 6 years old, my mother takes me down to Pavilion Beach We're going to watch my dad row. 3 things I remember of that event. Number 1, he rowed on the Santa Maria. That became my most favorite boat in all the races. Even though I didn't know who was on the boat, I was rooting for the Santa Maria. Number 2, he finished a distant third. And number 3, I can remember at home, he's telling my mom, "My back is killing me." I first started giving out the trophies in 1969. It was the Salvatore J. Piscatello Memorial Trophy. Now, Sam had been a casualty of the Vietnam War in that November of '68. So myself and some of his closest friends, we got together and we said, how can we keep Sam's name alive? So we come up with giving a trophy for the greasy pole on Sunday. I did that from '69 to '72. Then in '72, Sammy Logie Frontiero announces his retirement. Now I gotta tell you, I'm gonna put a shout out for Sam, because he was probably one of the best storytellers I ever heard. So now I say to the Fiesta committee, yeah, I can do it. Little did I know that I was going to be the Pied Piper of the greasy pole. First year in '73, I'm walking down Commercial Street onto Beach Court, and these kids are all over me, jumping. They're telling me who they are, who's their father, what boat they fished on. And I would tell them, hey, I have nothing to do with the list. I'm only the announcer. By the 3rd year, I'm hiding in the house of Mitch, because this was God's honest truth. I'm hiding in the house of Mitch. 2 of my favorite memories in the greasy pole all happened to be in 1979. The Saturday event, Joey Parmesan wins the flag on Saturday. Now, normally, when the greasy pole winner gets to Pavilion Beach, he gets a ride by the fellow walkers up Pavilion Beach into Commercial Street in Beach Court. I noticed Joey's running up Pavilion Beach, heading to the porch. He runs into the porch, he grabs the mic from me. Now, normally I don't give the mic up, but he was full of grease, so I was about to have nothing to do with that. Joey gives a heartwarming shout and dedicates this flag in victory to his buddy, Benny Interanti, who had went down at sea with the Captain Cosmo that early in September. Then, in '79, now on Sunday, for those who are unfamiliar with the greasy pole, the courtesy round, nobody's supposed to grab the flag. All right, nobody's supposed to. You can touch it, but you can't grab it. Well, here I am in the mic, and it's about the next to last walker. So what's he do? He grabs the flag. Now I'm telling the people at the beach, I don't know what's happening here. I think we got to play this out. Little did I found out afterwards, Salvi Benson tells everybody, stay on the pole. And he sends Matzer and another walker into the water to chase the flag. And I'm just seeing how it all plays out. And this is the truth. I can close my eyes right now and seeing Matzer get on that beach, and he goes, boom, boom. And everybody's cheering, and I'm going, hey, what do you want? It's Fiesta. He grabs the flag, goes back out into the beach. He goes back out to the pole. Somebody nails it up. Now, the beauty of it all was, then they begin to walk. Who wins it? Salvi Benson, for the 9th and final time, Salvi Benson wins that pole. Let me tell you a little side story. Kevin, I'm sorry about this, but one year I'm announcing, and a reporter from People magazine shows up at my porch. He's covering the Red Sox and the Yankees, but he's in Boston, and he hears about Salvi Benson and the greasy pole. The next month, we see a little cartoon of Salvi Benson with his leather jacket walking the greasy pole like that on People magazine. And those were two of my most memorable moments with the greasy pole. Now, with the same boats, now I've been doing this for 15 years on this. So now with the same boats, early on from the 30s to 1958, the crews would name themselves after the boat they fished, such as the Captain Drum, the Antonina, the Antonina, and so on and so forth. Then in 58, they changed names, and then we had the Beachcombers and the Renegades as some of the early crews. 1964 and 1965, the gondoliers win the sailboat races on Sunday. The unwritten rule at that time was, if you win it 3 years in a row, you get to keep the trophy. Now the trophy is the Joseph Linquarter Memorial Trophy, and Joe had been the proprietor of the Old Timers down in the West End. So friends and family of the Linquarters get together, and they're going to challenge the gondoliers. Now the gondoliers had guys like Nino Sanfilippo, the Messeri brothers, Carlo, Peter, Busty, Joe Orlando. They were a formidable crew. So the other crew that gets together, they call themselves the Younger Hearts. Guys like Sophie the Bull, Jimmy Scrod Verga, Mike Calamo, and the famous Sammy Pecorindazza as the coach. So the race goes on, and the Younger Heart wins. Two things I want to note about this race. Number one, I would happen to be on the third crew. So like my father a decade earlier, I rode on the Santa Maria, and we come in a very distant third. But more importantly, everybody, that was the last race between fishermen. The gondoliers and the Younger Heart were true fishermen, and that was the last time fishermen rode against fishermen. True. Now a transition period began. Now the weightlifters started to come in, and it wasn't so much about gangs and friends. The all-beefers, they win 3 times. Twice, 2 in a row, and the third time with a tie. 1978, a group of friends get together, and they call themselves the Kids. Vince Orlando, Sammy Scola, Joe Turk Jr., Vito Gigoloni, Tony Testaverde, Tony Frontiero, to name a few. And they win it in 78, they win it in 80, 81, and 82. And I'm telling you, they brought excitement back to the sailboat races. Then in 83, Desire shows up. Guys like Joe Novello, Vince Cimitaro, Jack Anderson, Tommy Conrad. They became a very formidable crew. So they win it 4 years in a row. Now it's 1987, and they're going for 5 in a row. Like when I announced about Matza winning it, and also there was a time when I noticed that Sammy Scola did this, what I call a textbook turn. I could sense something was going to happen. I really mean it. I could sense it after all these years of announcing the races. So the red flag, the Terminators. The red flag is closest to the greasy pole and 10-pound island. In the middle is Desire, 4-time champs, going for 5 in a row, and they were going to retire that name. Out on the blue flag, closest to the boulevard, was Raging Bull with Vince Orlando, and he was a maverick when it comes to jumping on the start. Vince Orlando and Frankie Frontiero is the scuttler. The race begins. Good, clean start. And now these guys have been racing against each other for all of the 80s, and they go out. Desire takes an early lead. As they reach the flag, I see that Raging Bull is closing in on them. The Terminators and the red flag, I can tell they're out of it. They come around the flag, they turn around, and now Raging Bull is catching Desire. The race committee boat says, it looks like Desire's ahead. I say, I don't think so. I think it's the Raging Bull. And now you see a well-oiled machine. There was easily a foot and a half of weight. They were powering down, powering each stroke. Oh, then next thing you know, like a true defending champ, Desire makes a comeback. And there they are. Each stroke takes the lead. Each stroke. They're going at it. It's like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. They're going at it. Boom, boom, boom. Arizona Lynn Quarters, the beach judge. I yell to Ara, get ready. Everybody on the beach, watch the American flag. That's going to tell you who wins this race. And there they are. Desire, Raging Bull, they're at the greasy pole. Boo, boo, it's Raging Bull, boom, boom, and Raging Bull wins the race by a nose. The next day, Officer Peter Hickey sees me, big shitting grin on his face. He says, Mike, I was stationed at the altar, and I didn't know what to do. I knew I couldn't leave my post, but I wanted to get down there and see the end of the race. That was the most exciting call I had ever heard. Really. Then in 1988, after all the events were over, without any fanfare, I announced my retirement. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
I love hearing this inside story on all the Fiesta stuff. When I was growing up, we knew 2 things about the Fiesta. 1, that it was an amazing, great time, and 2, that every June it just fell out of the sky and landed in St. Peter's Square. So these are the folks behind the scenes. Now, to make sure I don't get fired, I have to mention the sponsors. Cape Ann Savings Bank. Neptune's Harvest is in here. All right. The Mass Cultural Council and Lobster Land. Okay, I'm going to sprinkle in a couple of fun facts that I learned going through this with these folks. One is that the preamble to Viva San Pedro, Ma che siamo tutti muti! Okay, what that means is, what? Are we all mute? And apparently not. Okay, our next storyteller is Joe Parmesan. Now, Joe, let's hear it for Joe. He decided against the hat tonight. I thought it was very cute on him. Joe is a really likable guy and a really humble guy. He's got an amazing story about him winning the greasy pole, but he decided not to tell that story, but to share what it was like growing up as a boy in the fort when the Fiesta came to town. Joe Parmesan.
All right. You all came here tonight to hear me sing. What? Oh, that's next year. Sorry. So as this year's Fiesta approaches, a lot of memories come back. And most of all, waiting for the Matarazzo brothers, the Fiesta decorators. As young kids growing up, those first 2 weeks in June was waiting with anticipation. When those trucks rolled in the morning and one of the first kids in the neighborhood saw that truck, we would run from house to house. The Matarazzo brothers are here. They're here. The Matarazzo brothers are here. Kids would gather, come out in the pajamas on, running through the streets. As the day went on, we'd gather around the truck, watch them carefully unload the street lights and pieces of the altar. After all, they were going to be building our 4-day wonderland. As the days went on, we watched them change light bulbs, test the altar lights, and eventually we were changing the light bulbs with them. Running to Buzzy Bertolino's, getting sandwiches for the crew. We did everything we could to be part of that fiesta. We were so happy. At night, the Matarazzo brothers would go home to the north end, and we would take over the altar. We would play on it for hours, waiting for the carnival rides to arrive. One by one, they would come in the parking lot. The Scrambler, the Spider, the Tilt-A-Whirl, and the Skydiver, in which my good friend Peter Frontero still holds a neighborhood record for going on it 97 times. And he still holds that record today. So as Thursday night came around, Fiesta was in full gear, and those bright lights for the next four nights down the fort would turn it into day. The smell of sausages and peppers and onions, cotton candy, fried dough, you name it, you smelt it, it was great. Columns of white smoke would barrel from Beach Court to Commercial Street, from firecrackers and bottle rockets going off. The sound of Italian music echoing through the streets by speakers that were high up in the telephone poles. It was definitely a wonderful time growing up as a kid down the fort. We were in heaven. Everything was right. There was no wrong in the world. On Saturday, we would eagerly wait to enter the pie and watermelon eating contest. A lot of us were fasting for like 18 hours, and we never refused a free meal. So as the day went on, we went down Pavilion Beach to watch the greasy pole walkers and the sailboat rowers. They were our heroes. We looked up to them. As the announcer would call off each walker's name: Salvi Benson, walking number 1. Anthony Mazza-Giambanco, walking number 2. Wolfman Kavanaugh, walking number 3. Pat Palmisano, walking number 4. Sal Gelati and Albert Genovese will be following. Those names would echo in our heads, and we wanted to walk like them as we got older, because we wanted to be like them. That was our coming out party someday. We knew we could walk that pole. After the pole was over on Sunday, after the pole on Saturday was over, Sunday morning we would dress in our best whites that our mother and fathers bought for us with their hard-earned money. We would go to Mass and have the honor of carrying the St. Peter's Fiesta sign, me, my cousin Joe Scola, and Larry Biondo, through the 2-mile route of Fiesta. That sign is still in our family after 70 years. It's a great feeling. So, thank you, Ma and Dad, Aunt Pymie and Aunt Mary. They put a lot of faith into it, and they wanted us to keep that tradition going. It was a wonderful time, like I says. At night, around 11 o'clock, St. Peter would come off that altar. He would be placed down, and thousands of people would follow him around the quarter-mile walk around the fort. It was such a wonderful time. Everybody was chanting, Agi Samo tutte mute, Viva San Pedro, and constantly, it never stopped for that quarter mile. And at night, we'd look up to those people walking that were taller than us, tears running down their face, and I would ask my mother and father, why are they crying? He goes, because the spirits from Fiesta Pass come out when we take St. Peter around the fort. This is the time they come out, and they're closest to our heart, because we know they're there. You could feel them. And if you've never experienced taking St. Peter around the fort, you have a chance to do it next Sunday night, a week from tonight. Do it. I guarantee you'll feel the emotion. You'll feel the spirits of all the past Fiesta work, people that put in their loving money into that Fiesta. They're still with us, but they really do come out that night of Fiesta. It's an amazing feeling. As we bring St. Peter back to the St. Peter's Club on Main Street and the window display, we would all sing God Bless America. My mother told me the reason why they did it in the 30s, it was a thank you to the Americans from the Italians. They would sing it loud and proud for letting them into their country, to be free, to have a chance to make a living. It was really nice. It was a beautiful thing. The next morning, we would wake up, hoarse voice, could hardly even talk. We'd peer out our bedroom windows and we'd see the carnival and the carnival workers gone like gypsies in the night. They would disappear. Most of the Fiesta altar was down, the lights were gone, and for the first time in about 2 weeks, the fort felt empty. Our 4-day wonderland was gone, only for another year. That is through the eyes of a young child growing up in the fort. Thank you very much.
Joe Parmesan has put together that amazing book that is for sale in the back there by that table. It's a book of fantastic photos of the Fiesta through the years, and I was stunned when I saw it. So it's $20. Those are 1990 prices. So hopefully you'll make your way back there and take a look at those books. Okay, our next storyteller is Joe Sanfilippo. He is a deeply committed, lifelong Gloucester fisherman, and he appreciates that he grew up in a town that so appreciates his challenging profession. Joe Sanfilippo.
Thank you. Attia, Susemone, stanno puzzare ste vajke. Manko se puzzano di stesse. My dad used to wake us up 2 weeks before. He'd say, hey, get up. St. Peter's coming. It's time to clean these boats up. I was about 5. Not kidding. So he'd round us up. I was lucky to be the youngest of 5 boys. He'd round all us boys up and bring us down to the boat, and we'd begin work. Fiesta to me was, let's clean the boats. Let's make everything spotless. Let's make our souls clean. Let's make sure that everybody sees what beauty these boats bring to this harbor. We spent weeks getting the boats ready. And them weeks were like a passage through time for me. My first year was painting the pen boards. We'd go down there, and it was fun because never really painted much. We learned quick that 2-part paint really stuck to you, because I think I painted myself more than I painted the boards the first year. But it was a rite of passage. We went from painting pen boards to painting the whole boat. And then when you got a little bit older, you were able to paint the name on the boat. And a little bit older and stronger, you were able to put up the flags. The flags were important. Everybody put the flags up. You walked around Gloucester Harbor, though, there were thousands of boats, not just 20 or 30 you see today. You could walk across the only time of the year you could walk across the boats from Felicia Royal to the Fisherman's Wharf. There were that many boats from side to side. We never left the dock without moving one. Today, everybody's got their own slip. It was an interesting time growing up, and Fiesta for most of the kids was a carnival. I, at 5 years old, learned really quick it wasn't a carnival, because after that heavy day of work, Dad gave us all the tickets to ride on the rides, except for I can remember the rain. The rain started, and it rained, and that rain came down on them hot tin roofs of all the vendors, and it didn't stop. It didn't stop all night. And I looked down in my pocket and I pulled out these tickets and they were all wet. And I looked around at the rides and I said, wow. I said, by the time it stops raining, we ain't gonna be able to go on the rides. And that's exactly what happened. It rained all the way to 11:30. And then like a miracle, the sky cleared. The full moon came out, the 80-degree weather came back, and it was time to walk St. Peter around the Fiesta again. This is when I realized that Fiesta was not a carnival. It was a spiritual journey for the fishermen. It was their time for thanks. It was their time for remembrance. It was their time for joy. It was their time for rest. And for me, it was time for me to be able to see my dad once in a while for at least a day or two, because he was always gone. We worked through it. Like I said, I was lucky enough to have older brothers. And it was great when you would bring them boats around the edge and you could sit them all in front of the fisherman's statue, and Cardinal would come down and bless every one of us. Unfortunately, that's kind of thing that got put to the past when we lost our industry. St. Peter's Fiesta is here because of commercial fishing, and Gloucester and its identity revolves around it. I've spent most of my life advocating for commercial fishery because I was born into it. I was bred into it. I once asked my dad, Dad, why don't you go to church? And he looked at me, and he gave me that look like, oh, geez, what'd I say? And he said, Joe, what do you think you are? You're at church. This is your church. We pray here. We play here. This is our place of worship. And I realized that he was right. I realized that at a young age. And when I started running the boat, I realized it even more, that St. Peter's Fiesta meant more to me when I began taking responsibility for other people's lives in my hands. When we would get into Fiesta when I was older and I understood what it really meant and the spiritual meaning of it, I would thank St. Peter and I'd scream at the top of my lungs, you know, Viva St. Pedro. And people used to look at me and they'd say, you know, you speak Sicilian very well. And yes, because it's part of my history. St. Peter was Italian. He came here from Italy, right? He came here. He was brought here by a bunch of fishermen. He sat on the beach. They pulled him up. They walk him around the altar. They walk him around the city. Everybody screams and yells for him. And then on Monday, he goes away. And just like Joey said, it's empty. And everybody forgets. We've forgotten. We've forgotten the fishery in Gloucester. Gloucester's commercial fisheries are its identity. So this Fiesta, when we pray to St. Peter, please pray for Gloucester's commercial fishery, because it's extremely important. Thank you.
I've got 3 words for you. Crazy, hat, what's the 3rd word? Yes. Okay. Amy Clayton is our next storyteller, and she has brought this incredible, super fun tradition to the Fiesta. Please welcome Amy Clayton.
Hi, everyone. This started 24 years ago. From my wonderful sister said to me one day, because we have a Fiesta party, she says to me, hey, I got a great idea for us. And I'm like, really? Because whenever you have a great idea, I'm usually something big. Let's make a hat. Let's have a hat party for our party. Really? Yeah. So we made hats. Simple hats, small hats. Well, small by our standards. She did the novena and the altar and other festive things going on in the world and in our community. And I always did the greasy pole and the blessing of the fleet. So I guess she always did the sacred part. I did the slightly slippery part. So we would start planning this these hats. Our favorite time of year was the after Christmas Fiesta sale, where everything was green and red. Ribbons, garland, glitter, you name it. And I'd hear my sister in the other aisle. She's like, oh my God, look at all this Fiesta stuff. So it was crazy. So we would make hats, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. The best part is every year we have a party on Orchard Street, and we have our own parade. We have our own ore carriers. We have our own greasy pole walkers. We have our own statue, and we have our own band. It literally is a half a block down the street. So we hide our hats and our statue down at a neighbor's yard. At 3 o'clock sharp, we go down and we get ready. So we got the greasy pole walkers, we've got the ore holders, we got the band, and we're at the back. We're like the floats in the back. And as we approach our little, the neighborhood, the street is lined with neighbors and friends and strangers, because every time we go out, my sister's like, hey, come to our party, come on up. So as we're approaching, the confetti bombs go off, the cheers, the laughter, and we look at each other at the bottom of the street, and I'm like, are you ready for this? And she's like, fuck yeah. So we go, and people are like, there's laughing, and there's gasps, and we're just, it's joy. We're spreading joy. People are smiling, they're happy, and people are like, you outdid yourselves again this year, ladies. So every year, 4 o'clock sharp, we make our way down to the Pavilion Beach. So picture this. I'm going to call my sister up because I want you to see what she is, a walking float. So come on up, sis. So, I know. We make these hats. As much as yesterday, we were working on them, and I look at this hat and I'm going, I am not fucking wearing this hat. There's no way I'm wearing this hat. And she's like, come on, we'll be good, we'll be great. I'm like, no. And so then I put it on, I look, and I'm like, does it make my butt look big? She says no. I go, great, we're on it. All right, so we make our way down to the beach. We're walking down Washington Street, and of course, these two lunatics with hats on, people in their cars are looking, and they're pointing, and they're like, what? We're like, hey. So we get down to the beach, and as we get down to the beach, it's like a parting of a wave. The crowd parts. We hear, before we see, we hear the, ooh, ah, oh, it's the hat ladies, or what is that? What is that? They can't, because it's crazy. So that's when we look at each other and we go, all right, are you ready? And she's like, yeah, because as soon as we hit the beach, it's pictures, it's questions, it's pictures, it's crazy. And the questions that we have, what's one of them?
Are they heavy?
Are they heavy?
They're awkward.
They're awkward. After 2 days of wearing them, we do end up with a bruise on our head. People are like, oh, did you make them? And I'm like, yeah, look at it. It's pipe cleaners and my kids' toys. Yeah. Then we get the, did you make them? I'm like, no, I bought it at Walmart. Or another one would be like, hey, you should make them and sell them. I'm like, are you serious? No, make your own. So we're down on the beach. We're having a great time. My sister and I have a certain pose I'm going to show you, because if we get too close to each other, we clash, and our 8 feet of Fiesta Regala is trashed, and we're breaking out the glue gun. So this is our pose. Hold on, move it like this. There we go. This is our pose. Got to have our hands out. We usually put people in the middle. We know how to, it's a choreography. It's what it is. So, funny story, we're waking our way back, 'cause we're only there for an hour. We have a party to get back to. And of course, when you're at the beach, a few drinks, or 2, or 3, or 4. You would have to have drinks to wear this. Come on, really? So we're making our way up past the Legion, and we're tired, right? We're getting older, I'm like, hey, let's see if we can get a ride. So we go. A minivan pulls up, opens the door, and again, we stumble into the back of the car, and I'm on the floor, and she's on the back seat, and we're laughing at each other because we're like, what the fuck are we doing? Next thing I hear from the front seat, hi, Miss Clayton. I went, oops, one of my former students was in the car. I was like, hi, I'm sprawled out on the floor. Thank God it's June and not September when we have this one, because they always forget that they see me. But it was really funny. I thought, well, that's my professional legacy right there. People will say to me, hey, are you one of the crazy hat ladies? I'm like, yes, but I also have my master's degree, and I'm also a teacher, but yeah, we'll go with the crazy hat ladies. 2 years ago, we invited our friend Samantha Barrett. Now, so nobody loves Fiesta more than Samantha Barrett does. Her family is steeped in the tradition of the Fiesta. So she made her first hat. And do you remember she made it? And it was so heavy and so awkward. And the poor thing, she needed like balusters to wear it. But she wore it with pride. And then the second year, she made a few improvements, but nobody loves Fiesta more than Samantha does. So she was so happy to come. So, because traditions grow, right? Like families, they grow. And, we do this now. These hats have become so much bigger than who we are. Like, it's no longer about costumes and hats and attention. It's about family and friends and community, and the city that just loves this community tradition, and we love it equally. It literally is the heart and soul of what we do, and it is so much bigger than us, and we realized we no longer were doing it for like the fun of it. We're doing it because we are making memories, and we spread joy and laughter, and what better way to have to just live your life, right? So, yeah. So I don't know if we'll ever give it up. We have more people. Our boys did join in a couple years when they were younger, but now they are official statue carriers. So, they probably won't join in. But this year, my hat is dedicated to the Lily Jean. And yes, so this will be retired and maybe donated to the museum. And my sister has a dedication to the Lily Jean. She has a dedication to Anne Margaret Ferrante. There's dedication to Chris Daly. And thank you so much. Thank you. Maki Samo tutte mute! Maki Samo tutte mute! Chi siamo tutti mute! Viva! 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 Woo! Thank you.
Our next thing is the music portion. We're going to have music, intermission, then more music. And if you are not now in love with Adria Smith and Rhiannon Hurst, you are about to be. They have an album coming up, and they are utterly fabulous. Please welcome Rhiannon Hurst and Adria Smith.
Summertime and the living is Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your mother's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Summertime and Fiesta is coming. The Ford is jumping and the pride is high. Oh, we're all together and we're all good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Say now one of these days you're gonna rise up singing. Reach high tide. That greasy pole is coming. They're all slipping and sliding. So if you fall wrong, we understand. If you cry, summertime and the living is easy. Fiesta is coming and the pride is high. Oh, your mother's good looking, your papa's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Adria Smith on piano, everyone. Thank you so much for having us back this year. We are excited to be here. Up next, we have an apt tune for the spirit that we are feeling right now. This is On the Sunny Side of the Street. Grab your coat and snatch your hat. Leave your worries on that doorstep. Just direct your feet to that sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-patter? is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my blues, well, they were on parade. I'm not afraid. This a rover, well, he crossed over. If I never had a cent, I would be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust round my feet on that sunny side of the street. Grab your coat and snatch your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep, or just direct your feet to that sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that bitter pat and that happy tune? Well, it is your step. Oh, life can be so sweet on that sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with my blues, well, they were on parade. I'm not afraid. This a rover, he crossed over. If I never had a cent, I would be rich as Rockefeller. Oh, gold dust round my feet on the sunny, on that shady, on that sunny, on that shady, on that sunny side of the street. Adria Smith. All right, we are going to slow things down a little bit to a beautiful tune that I'm sure you all know. We encourage you to sing along with us. This is When You Wish Upon a Star. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are, anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, as dreamers do, fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment Fate steps in and sees you through, and you wish upon a star. Your dreams come true. Thank you. Alrighty, we are down to our last tune for this set. We're going to close out with a tune that, if you're ever feeling down and don't know quite what to do, this is a great song to listen to because it helps you get those feelings out. This is Moanin'. Every morning finds me moaning. I'm alone and crying the blues. Yeah, but I'm so tired of paying these dues. Everybody knows I'm moaning. Every evening finds me moaning. 'Cause of all that trouble I see. Life's a losing gamble to me. Everybody knows I'm moaning. Lord, I spend plenty of days and nights alone with my grief. And I pray, really and truly pray, somebody will come and bring me relief. Every morning finds me moaning. I'm alone and crying the blues. Yeah, but I'm so tired of paying these dues. Everybody knows I'm moaning. La do 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 do, ba yo ya ba ba do da bo ba o ba ba ah. La do la do la ga da 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 ba da bo ba ba da bo ba ba da bo ba. Va do do bo ba bo ba so la do do ba ba o ba bo ba o so go 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 da do do ba da da. La da bo ba ba da, la da do da da, va bo bo. Lord, I spend plenty of days and nights alone with my grief, alone with my grief. And I pray, really and truly pray, somebody will come and bring me relief. Every morning finds me moaning, I'm alone and crying those blues. Yeah, but I'm so tired of paying them dues. Everybody knows I'm moaning. Adria Smith, my name is Rhiannon Hurst. Thank you so much. We'll be back shortly.
Folks, once again, Adria Smith and Rhiannon Hurst.
All right, and while we're getting your attention back, I just want to give a huge shout out to our amazing MC this evening. Can we give a hand for Kevin? which, by the way, he wrote those lyrics that you heard on Summertime. So another hand, please. We're manifesting good weather for this upcoming fiesta, so this is Blue Skies. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. There are blue birds singing their song, nothing but blue birds all day long. Well, I never saw that sun shining so bright, never saw things going oh so right. I'm noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, oh my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. There are blue birds singing their song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Well, I never saw that sun shining so bright, never saw things going oh so right. I'm noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, oh my, how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Nothing but blue, blue skies from now on. Nothing but blue, blue skies from now on. Adria Smith. Alrighty, you might have heard reference to this earlier, but yes, it is in fact true. We did recently collaborate on an album, and it will be released by the end of this summer, crossing fingers. It is with an all-female and non-binary band featuring works by women composers. So we hope that you keep an ear out for when we release that come the end of this summer. Okay, this next tune, we're bringing a little bit of the Brazilian vibe to this celebration here. This is Summer Samba, So Nice. Someone to hold me tight, that would be very nice. Someone to love me right, that would be very nice. Someone to understand each little dream in me. Someone to take my hand, to be a team with me. Oh yes, that would be so nice. If one day I'd find someone who would take my hand and samba through life with me. Someone to cling to me, stay with me right or wrong. Someone to sing to me some little samba song. Someone to take my heart, then give his heart to me. Someone who's ready to give love a start with me. Oh yes, that would be so nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be nice. Should it be you and me, I could see it would be nice. Alrighty, thank you. We are down to our last tune. We want to say thank you so much again for having us be a part of this wonderful performance celebration, combined everything Gloucester community. We thank you so much for having us here this evening. Now, because you are such a wonderful audience, this tune is dedicated to you, because there will in fact never be another you. There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone new. There will be other songs to sing, another fall, another spring, but there will never be another you. Now there might be other lips that I may kiss, but theirs won't thrill me like yours used to do. Now I may dream a million dreams, but tell me, how will they come true? If there will 1, 2, 3. There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be swinging here with someone new. There will be other songs to think, another fall, another spring, but there will never be another you. Now there might be other lips that I may kiss, but theirs won't thrill me like yours used to do. Now I may dream a million dreams, but how will they come true if there will never ever be another? There will be many other nights like this, and I'll be swinging here with someone new. There will be other songs to sing, another fall, another spring, but there will never be another you. Gloucester, there might be other lips that I may kiss, but theirs won't thrill me like yours used to do. Now I may dream a million dreams, but how will they come true if there will never ever be another you? If there will never ever be another you. Adria Smith, my name is Rhiannon Hurst. Thank you so much for having us here this evening.
All right, not to put you on the spot, Adria and Rhiannon, but can you do every one of our shows, please? Okay. Is that a yes? So, we have a celebrity, a real celebrity to introduce you to tonight very briefly. Her name is Cape Ann. She is the granddaughter of Leo Linquata, who was on the original Fiesta committee and started the St. Peter's Club, and how Fiesta is that. Ann Malloy is not only Cape Ann, she's one of our great sponsors, and she's a tremendous storyteller herself. Please welcome Cape Ann. Now comes the moment I've been looking forward to. I get to embarrass Jennifer Brown, who from the Gloucester Writers, I heard that, no? She's at the Gloucester Writers Center. She, honest to God, does all the hard work behind the scenes, thankfully. And we would like to present her with a gift certificate to her favorite restaurant. It is enough for a meal and 11 drinks for the both of you. Please come receive your gift while everybody stares at you. All right, this is peer pressure at its finest right here. She did not want to come up here. She's still fighting it. She's halfway here. Yay! Thank you.
I am trying to be behind the scenes, Kevin.
I know. She said, I'm trying to be behind the scenes, Kevin. Well, you failed. Okay, our next storyteller is Rosalie Lentini, and she has the magical ability to put all of you in the St. Peter's Club on Fiesta Sunday. Please welcome Rosalie Lentini.
How you doing? So, anyway, months and months and months before Fiesta, I see Louis Linquarter. I go to Louis Linquarter. Hey, Louis, who's doing balloons? He goes, you are. I go, what do you mean I am? He goes, you and John are gonna do them. I go, what do you mean me and John are gonna do them? Nobody else wants to do them? You're in charge. I go, what do you mean we're in charge? He goes, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Let me go way, way back and let me start from the beginning. So anyway, it's Fiesta morning. I get a phone call. Ro, you got it? You got it? Yeah, ma. I got it. Okay, so I take the powder, pack the powder inside my bag. I pack a bag for Fiesta. I live in Magnolia. I live over the bridge. I gotta pack a bag. Because once you come over the bridge, you gotta have the bag because you ain't going back over the bridge until Fiesta's all done. So, here we are, Fiesta morning, packing my bag, getting everything I need, because you don't know if it's gonna rain, if it's gonna be sunny, if it's gonna be cold. So I'm going, okay, weather report, oh, it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna get a nice little sunburn today. So we're good. Make sure I get the powder, because if I don't get the powder, I'm gonna be in trouble. So, 7 o'clock, I get dropped off at the St. Peter's Club. Now, 7 o'clock, you go to the St. Peter's Club. There's the guys. They're all sitting downstairs at the bar. And there, you got your donuts. Gotta get that Fiesta donut. First thing in the morning, they got them all set up. Because if you go back down at 8 o'clock, there's no more donuts. I know, because I tried to do that. There was no more donuts. So, I wait there, I'm waiting. Here comes my mom. So if you know, Reggie's my mother, okay? So here comes Reggie. So me and Reggie, we walk upstairs to the St. Peter's Club. At the time, there's all the guys. There's 3 huge helium tanks just sitting on the side. All of a sudden, you hear the guys going, all right, are we ready? I don't know, are we ready? No, we're not ready. Jackie's not here with the valves that go on the tops. Okay, we're waiting for Jackie. Well, where's Jackie? I don't know. I think he had a late night last night. Okay, well, we're waiting for Jackie. All of a sudden, Jackie shows up. Here's the valves. They put the valves on. Here we are. Psst. We're starting to do the balloons. Psst. Okay, we're doing the balloons. All of a sudden, you hear Jackie, Reggie, don't be blowing them up too high, because if you blow them up too high, we can't fit them in there. Now, mind you, we're taking these balloons and we're putting them in bags that are made with lightweight twine that the guys have all done, because they're fishermen. They make the nets. Well, they took the nets and they made bags out of them. So they took the bags, they make the bags. So here we are, we're taking them, they're blowing them up, I'm taking them, we're tying them. So all of a sudden, I hear, Reggie, you got it? No, Rosalie brought it. Okay, where's the powder? I got the powder. Okay, so you take the powder, you put the powder on your finger, because if you don't put the powder on your finger, what do? You get a blister, because you're doing over 100+ balloons inside one bag. So here you are, we're taking them, they're blowing them up, we're taking the balloons, we're tying them, and we're bending over trying to get them in the bags, because they're hanging the bags up, but you gotta hit the hole. So the hole's down the bottom. You're throwing your balloons down the bottom and you're getting them in the bags. Now we're sitting there, we got them inside the bags. The guys are all going on. All of a sudden you hear Louis go, "Hey, anybody want some Sambuca?" Sure, we're all gonna have a shot of Sambuca. So we're sitting there. All of a sudden Jackie goes, "No breaks. We got no time. By the time you finish these balloons, the parade's gonna be going by. All right, we gotta hurry up. Oh, come on, let's do a shot of Sambuca. Don't forget, we got some beers over here." So we're sitting there, we're doing a shot of Sambuca, we're blowing them up. Psst, pop, Reggie, did you do that? I didn't do it. It was Charlie. Charlie did it. Okay, it wasn't me, because you told me don't blow them up too high because I got to fit them all in the bag. So we sat there. Now we're getting them all done. All of a sudden you hear, "Okay, who's taking bags?" "I don't know. Reggie, you want a bag?" "Sure." "Rosalie, you want a bag?" "Sure." "Okay, Rosalie, don't forget your Star Spangled Banner." "Reggie, your America the Beautiful. Don't forget America the Beautiful." "Okay, because you know what happened last year. It's not going to happen again this year." Because they go at separate times. You got to put America the Beautiful and Star Spangled Banner at 2 different times. Now, mind you, we got 2 different colored balloons. So you have red, white, and green for the Italian, and red, white, and blue for Star Spangled Banner. So we get the balloons. We go, now all of a sudden, it's time for the procession. So balloons are already down there. They're all tied up, all ready to go. So we got the bags. We go down. We go to the bags. There's my mother. Row, row. What am I doing again? "Ma, you got America the Beautiful. I got Star Spangled Banner, remember?" "Oh, yeah. Okay. Mind you, now we're standing there. I'm standing there. We got every other ones. We're standing there. We got the balloons. Now, mind you, you're holding the balloons. And they're blowing like this, and you're trying to hold it, and they're still blowing. Then all of a sudden, the kids come, and they got the oars. And the kids come, they stand right in front of you. Boink. He's hitting my bag with the oars. "What are you doing?" I go, "You're gonna pop my balloons. Can you not hold your oar up too high? Because you're gonna pop my balloons." Now, mind you, we're sitting there, we're holding them. Now, just to go back a little bit, the reason why that I do this is because of my mom, okay? Back for family. Because everything that this done, this was a small thing to do balloons for the fiesta, okay? And this all goes back, it's just a small little part. They did it just for a little time. And it was so much fun when it went off. And the guys would get together, my mother would get together, my Uncle Gino would be there, and a few other people. And I said, "Mom, I want to do something with you for Fiesta, and if this is what you enjoy doing, I want to enjoy doing with you too." And she goes, "All right, Ro, then this is what we're gonna do together." So mind you, here we are on the street, getting bonked by oars. My mother's sitting next to me. We're holding these balloons. All of a sudden, here comes St. Peter. We're proud, we're holding our balloons. St. Peter walks by. Now the crowd of people comes. Everybody's around you now, and they all want a piece of those nets. "Hey, don't be holding my net. Don't hold my net. Don't be holding my net." And they go, "Don't worry about it. We'll help you. We'll help you." "Yeah, but if Jackie finds out if the wrong balloons go, I'm in trouble." So now we're sitting there, we're holding the nets. All of a sudden, Star Spangled Banner. Dun, 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 dun. I'm letting my balloons go. All of a sudden, there goes red, white, and green. I know I'm red, white, and blue, but there goes red, white, and green. All of a sudden you hear, "Reggie, I told you, America the Beautiful, not Star Spangled Banner." So anyway, that was like one of the highlights, but unfortunately, times are changing. And because we have the environmental things going on and stuff like that going on these days, we can't have balloons anymore. So, no more balloons because balloons are not biodegradable. And because they go into the ocean, birds, fish, we don't want to do that. So we want to try to save our fish and save the birds. So instead, I want to start a new tradition. And what I want to start is bubbles! So instead of us doing balloons, let's do bubbles for St. Peter's. So if you have a bubble gun, let's do bubbles for St. Peter's. And that's what we're gonna do, all right? Thank you very much.
Something has changed up here. Our next storyteller is Tom Aiello. Tom Aiello has re-energized a really meaningful tradition of Fiesta. And when I heard his story, I was really impressed with it. And you will be too. Here is Tom Aiello.
Well, before I begin, I just want to say that after the show's over, I'm going to file a complaint with the Fiesta Committee on Joe Pomazano and Michael Delaberti for stealing all the jokes that I had written in my speech tonight. I let them see my speech, and the next thing you know, I'm up there, I'm watching them, and I had to cross out this story, this story, this story. While they were speaking, I ran back, and I tried, that's it, I have to wing it. But I do want to say, in all seriousness, if anyone doesn't know, I'm proud to say that I'm the younger cousin of Michael Delaberti, one of 45 cousins in my family. Michael probably doesn't want me to say this, he's the oldest, and we've always been proud of Michael. He's always led us in any of our family events, and we have many of them. And as far as Joe Pomazano goes, anyone come see me after the show. I've known Joe since he was a baby. I got all the dirt on him, So as far as my story, unfortunately, it's not going to be a laugh a minute. But this is my story, my humble story of my involvement with the Fiesta. Whenever anyone asks me what it was like growing up down in the fort as a young boy when Fiesta came around, for any of those out there in the audience who did this as well, and I know there's a few of you, I always answered back that it was like 30 days of Christmas. And I don't just mean the 4 days of Fiesta itself. I mean the very first time those red poles showed up, those red poles that you know would string the lights of the Fiesta lights all the way around the fort. And from that day, right up until the day, the night, Sunday night, when they carried St. Peter back to his resting place for the rest of the year at the club, it was a magical time for us. As you can imagine, growing up down in the fort, it's a blue-collar, working-class section of town, always has been. A lot of fish wharves. Back in the days, going back to the 60s when I was a young boy, there were hundreds of vessels that would be tied up 4 or 5 deep off of the wharves. There were many fish processing plants that were going 5-6 days a week, processing hundreds and thousands of pounds of fish every day. There were tractor trailers, big rigs coming down the fort day and night. When your mother said, go play in traffic, you literally did, growing up down there. It was also, I'm privileged to say that I was probably the last generation that grew up down there when the population down there was literally double plus what it is now. There were a lot of tenement homes where you now see the Beauport Hotel. There were wonderful homes with wonderful families, Fronteros, Parisi, Shimataros, I can go on and on. Marinos for my cousin Eric out there, Marino family. And so one of my young memories of growing up down there would be when I was on Beach Court and all the Italian ladies, especially in the summertime, would come out on their porches and they'd be speaking in Sicilian. And unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with knowing one word of Sicilian, but I just knew that us kids would be out there, we'd be in the middle of the street playing football, street hockey, whatever it was, and the Italian ladies would be speaking porch to porch to porch in Sicilian, and we had a blast listening to them. And that's always been one of my fond memories. But growing up down the fort, again, as like I said, it was a blue-collar, working-class area of town, and let's be honest, it wasn't the most decorated, handsome part of town. But for that 1 month when they were building Fiesta, we knew that it was going to be, that it was our turf and it was going to be our time to show the rest of the city what we could do and how we could put on a nice time. And we relished that. So it wasn't a matter of, were you going to do something in the Fiesta? It was a matter of what were you going to do? And any way we could find to be involved with the Fiesta, we took advantage of it. And one of my first memories was, there was a fishnet business down in the heart of the fort. And it was known by Sam Novello. And I found out later on in life that Sam had started this tradition of honoring the fishing vessels by having the children of the fort on Sunday dress in their whites and carry oars that had his clients' boats' names on them. And we jumped at that opportunity. And some of the pictures it's right there, my ugly mug shot, by the way. And some of the pictures that are coming up right now, you'll see we jumped at that opportunity back in the late 60s and early 70s. And it was a wonderful time. And I just knew it was a way to get involved with the Fiesta, get in the Fiesta parade. And I did that for a few years. And then later on, as I got a little bit older, you graduated to either walk on the greasy pole like Joey did, a champion, or in my case, rowing seine boats. And I had some early success when I was younger, rowing seine boats. But unfortunately, when I got into my 30s, I took a good look at this body and I said, you know what? This body ain't made for winning seine boat races anymore. And so I gave it up. And for the first time in my life, there was a Fiesta void. And I was like, what do I do now? It was a Fiesta void. But at the same time, I had just recently gotten married and was having children, 3 of them of which are right over here. And so I just buried my head in work and raising a family. And then in 2001, I had a significant change in my life. I lost both of my parents in an 11-month time. My dad was an inshore fisherman, skipper, had fished all of his life. My mom busted her butt working down at Ocean Crest Seafoods for a couple of decades as a fish packer. And I had the privilege of working there myself a couple of summers. It was awesome. The work is there. If you want to know what work was all about, that's what you want to see. And so I had another void in my life, and I said, you know what? I want to do something that can try and pay back and honor my parents and pay back to this community that had given me so much. And I came up with an idea. I should say, before I go any further, that this tradition of carrying the oars that Sam had started from the 50s had stopped in the 70s. So now we're in 2002, and I went to see one of the movers and shakers of down the fort. Her name is Janie Janie Sullivan Brancleone. And I said, Janie, I have an idea that I'm only going to do it if we can get all of our gang together and put our heads together and make this work. And she said, you know, Tom, I have an idea too. And I said, well, what's your idea? She said, what's your idea? And we blurted out the ideas at the same time, which was to renew the tradition of carrying the oars. We had a good laugh, and we said, you know what, we're going to do this. And the only way we were going to do it was by getting all of our friends together and collectively in making this happen. And so we did. And in the spring of 2002, we got together, all of our group of friends from down the fort area, we put our seed money of our own money. We bought a bunch of oars from the same company up in Canada that makes the International Dory oars and the Fiesta oars, the same boat oars. And We then contacted the Gloucester Times. They came down, they met with us. They did an awesome article about what we were trying to do. And within weeks, we had sold all those oars to families that wanted to get their boats back into this renewed tradition. And so, thank you. And so we get now, Janie and her husband, Tommy Branglione, were very gracious. They hosted oar painting parties every weekend in June. We had everything lined up that first year, 2002. The only thing missing now was we needed to make sure we had enough walkers. And me being the worrywart that I am, I worried every day about it. And I kept saying to myself, I just want I want to do the fishing community right. I want to make us proud. I want to give back to the Fiesta. Well, sure enough, Sunday comes. We have the procession. The Fiesta committee was gracious. They put us up in the front. And I remember I was like one of the parents who was up near the front. And I remember being down where Scalafani's Bakery is and looking back up over the hill towards the American Legion. And there they were, still coming over the hill, the walkers. And I got chills, and I couldn't have been. It's one of the proudest moments I ever had, and I saying, we did it, we did it. These walkers look awesome. They're the show. They look so tremendous, and I was so happy. And for 25 years now, this is our 25th anniversary. Each year we do it. And each year the kids come, the walkers come. I remember one time about 12, 13 years ago, we were walking, and I saw this couple. They were in their like 50s, and they were near the end of the line. They were carrying an oar. And I went down to them. I just drifted down. I said, hey, where are you guys from? They said, we're from Philadelphia. And I said, you're from Philadelphia? Why are you carrying an oar? And they said, well, they don't have anything like this down in Philadelphia. And we wanted to be part of something that had meaning. And I said, are you enjoying yourself? And they said, we love it. And I can tell you that for me, it's not about us. It's about the carriers. We try and stay out of the way. For 25 years, the crowds that watch us have been fantastic. They love the walkers. The kids look awesome, and the adults as well, whoever carries. And for 25 years, I still get nervous every time Fiesta comes out. Are we going to have enough kids? Are we going to have enough kids? But I want to finish on this. I want to say, when I was a kid and I carried those oars for Sam Novello, I was just happy to get into the Fiesta. The oars, they were awesome. They were great. As a matter of fact, you can see some of them at the Cape Air Museum. I think they're still there. But as I got older, and after my parents passed, and you get older, and you get a little bit smarter, not too much in my case, but you get a little bit smarter. Anyway, I look back, and now when I see these oars now, I don't see a piece of wood. I see a boat, most of which aren't here anymore, but there's a lot that still are. But I see a boat, and I see a crew that worked that boat, and I see a family that supported those crews. And back in the days, a lot of those families, if you didn't fish, you did something else related to the fishing industry, whether you were down on the wharves lumping boats or general help, or whether you were cutting fish or packing fish, whatever. Back in those days, it was very, everyone was involved in the fishing industry in one way or the other. So what we do is we try, before the parade goes off, we try and get the group of carriers together and give them a little speech and tell them. One of the things we try and impress upon them is when they hold these oars, hold them with pride. The other thing we try and tell them is that forever and ever, after you're done with this procession today, you can hold your head up. And when you go down the Fiesta, you can say, I'm a part of Fiesta now. I'm a part of tradition. Now, maybe a lot of them don't get it at the beginning, because I certainly didn't. But my hope is that as they get older, they'll think back to these days and they'll say, I'm glad to say I was part of one of Gloucester's great traditions. And that's my story. And Joe Pomazano, I'll see you after. We're going to square things off. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're coming up on our last storyteller, and before we get to her, I want to thank you all for being a part of something that has meaning. And thank you for being a great audience and great sports. So next up is Anita Pandolfi. Nobody's heard of her? Well, she exudes just a warmth, a multi-generational journey she's been on. It comes through her faith, family, and community. That's what it's all about. Please welcome Anita Pandolfi.
Non you worry. Mama Scolafaza gonna tell you a story. So I didn't grow up in Gloucester. I grew up in central Connecticut in a large Italian Sicilian community. We had Fiesta, we had the statue, we had the rides, we had the music, and we chanted, Viva Santa Lucia! Wait a minute. That was our fiesta, because my people came from Syracuse in Sicily, another part of the island. And in Syracuse, Santa Lucia was the patron saint. Now, Santa Lucia is about light. She's about light shining into the darkness. In fact, she got that heritage, they say, by wearing a crown with candles on it and going down into the catacombs and feeding people who were hiding out there from persecution. So Santa Lucia was a symbol of faith, of courage, of light over darkness, and of abundance. And you know why Italians always have so much food? Because we have to celebrate that we survived. And Santa Lucia was about abundance. And a big word in my family was abbondanza, abundance. So at our fiesta, we had the rides, we had the statue, we had the songs. We even had a live auction where they auctioned off animals. Goats, chickens, cows, tomato plants, wine, people's homemade wine, all in Italian. My grandfather, Luigi Pandolfi, he donated his property for holding Fiesta. So there were the 45 cousins, and there was the chaos, and the sense of family was so powerful. My cousins would win me one of those big stuffed animals, and that was so exciting. So I knew there that I was in the bosom of my family. I knew I belonged, and they belonged to me. So fast forward, I grow up, I go to college, and I decided, I don't want to be in college. I want to see the world. So I drop out of college. My parents are furious. Two of my best friends also drop out of their colleges because, you see, we were raised severely Catholic. Severely Catholic means 12 years of nuns. And in high school, we were the Mercy Girls at our high school. So my two Mercy sisters who are here tonight, they dropped out of their college. And we knew we weren't going back to Connecticut, too boring and quiet. We wanted to be near Boston, but not in Boston. We got a map, we looked around, we said, let's drive north of Boston along the coast. We went through places like Marblehead. We came around 127 into Gloucester. 1972, January, it's cold, it's gray, and the streets are lined with tractor trailer trucks. And I'm thinking, I don't know about this place. And then we went around the back shore, and we went by this good harbor, and we saw the ocean. And we said, we gotta live here. The only trouble was, we didn't have a job, we didn't have any money, we didn't know anybody, but what the hell? We're, 19, 20 years old. So finally, we pick up somebody hitchhiking, the infamous Arnie Morton. And Arnie finds it, says, you girls can stay with me. So for $50 a month, we had a little place, Nell Blaine's Cottage, right on the harbor, right across from what's now the Marine Station. So we literally landed in the heart of the harbor of Gloucester. So little did I know, I was in a Sicilian community. My parents were furious until they made it up here for Fiesta, and they heard Sicilian dialect being spoken. So it was kind of okay then that I was living here. So decades go by, I'm in love with Fiesta. I go down, I photograph, I go on the rides, I take my kids. It's great. But then I had a terrible tragedy in my life. My youngest daughter, Nora, died suddenly. This is 15 years ago now. And believe it or not, I was speechless. I'm known for kind of flapping off at the mouth, but a tragedy happens in like that, you lose your child, you're dumbfounded. And I didn't know if I could really speak, make a sound, express myself, but I needed to. So I found out about this guy through Time Bank. Anybody remember that organization? And he was listed that his service was to help people with speeches and expressing themselves. And so we got together, we met for lunch. And soon after, we discovered we were both bereaved parents. And that was quite a bond to have. And further into the lunch, he says, I got a part for you in a play. And I'm like, I didn't say I wanted to be in a play. I just wanted to find my voice. No, I got the part. He says, a bunch of people have gotten together and created a play called Greasy Pole the Musical. And he says, and you are gonna play the part of Mama Scolafazza. Now, I didn't have the part all to myself. I had to share the part with the godmother, Safatia. So when I say share the part, she did some performances, I did the other performances. And on the last night, the director decided we'd both play the part, and that was a hoot and a half, as you could imagine. She's swearing at me in Sicilian, and but my part of Mama Scolafazza was I started the play by walking out with this basket on my hip. And I said, Maria, I got the bread. Send Joey over to pick it up. I've got all dressed in black with my apron, my hair in a bun, sort of like now. I was a lot younger then. But the basket had the Virgilio's bread, a bottle of wine, some other things. Now it has Santa Lucia. My grandmother brought this basket over from Sicily. And the story goes that she smuggled some cactus pears in the bottom. And I got to use this as Mama Scolafazza. So Mama Scolafazza didn't take shit from anybody. And in the play, Greasy Pole, the big part of it took place in the kitchen, of course, because that's the heart and soul of an Italian family. That's the place, right? So Mama Scolafazza says, nobody in this family gonna walk at a greasy pole. Because as the story goes, her son wants to walk, right? That's what we've heard tonight. Every kid growing up in the fort and everywhere else wants to walk like their father, like their uncle, like their brother. And so in the play, Filippo really wants to walk. But Mama Scolafazza says, your father didn't sacrifice his life for you to walk at a greasy pole. It's a stunada thing to do. Because Mama says, Fiesta is about family and food and faith and fishing. It's about St. Peter and honoring the tradition in this community. And you're not gonna mess around with that. So the rumor, or maybe some people can verify it, is that this is why people started dressing up. Because Filippo had to disguise himself, or Mama would have really let him have it. The other thing that Mama talked about in the play was the sea gives and she takes. She took my husband and my 2 sons. When I said those words in front of this audience, I was sharing my pain, my grief. I found my voice. I wasn't acting, I was channeling my Sicilian grandmothers. Mama Scolafazza was the voice of my grandmothers. And being in that play taught me about Fiesta in a deeper way as I embodied this woman of Gloucester, this woman who lost her husband and her sons, this woman who knew the true value of Fiesta. I got to play that part, and that was a huge honor for me. I found my own voice, I found my voices of my ancestors, and I knew, again, that this was the place for me, Gloucester, Massachusetts. Thank you.
That concludes our night, unless one of you wants to come up and tell a story. Thanks again for supporting the Gloucester Writers Center and all these wonderful storytellers. I loved meeting you. You did wonderful. Thank you. Have a great night.
Make things to break down fast and nothing to last.